podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We're back after the World Cup. Been a little break, but we're finally back to discuss the World Cup now that it's obviously over. Spain have won it. Rhys has won the sweepstakes, so congrats, bro. And yeah, we've got a lot to discuss. Obviously, we'll go through some awards. As you can see from the episode title, we'll give out awards for best player, young player, coach, breakout player, flop player, overachievers, underachievers, etc., and also just give our review of a pretty eventful tournament with England making the semi-finals. And we'll also talk about the transfer window. So there's been signings for all of our clubs, a couple for Arsenal, plus obviously one loan made permanent. Chelsea have gone absolutely mad as usual, but some interesting signings for us to talk with Rhys about, with Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck looking like they're coming through the door. Liverpool, pretty underwhelming. It's a shame Kem's not here to talk through it and give some excuses. Couple signings, missed out on a couple big players. Looking like they're going to sign Bradley Barcola pretty soon, or at least attempt to. We'll see how that goes. And United have been quite busy as well with 3 signings through the door, a youngster as well, missing out on a few players as well. So we've got a lot to discuss. But before we get into the episode, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Like the video, leave a comment and share if you can. And for those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the other podcasting platforms, please follow and give us a 5-star review. And of course, the views expressed in this pod are just entertainment or jokes. They're not really opinions about anything serious. And they definitely do not reflect the opinions of any affiliated people or organizations. So yeah, let's get into the pod. Ray, how you doing, bro? Razor, you all good? It's been a minute. You happy with how the summer's gone so far?
Yeah. I forgot how comprehensive the disclaimer was. I forgot how many different things you try and like distance yourself from in the pod.
Understandable, bro. Understandable with the characters involved, isn't it? Including myself.
Yeah. Nah, man. I think, overall it's been lovely World Cup, sort of despite the backdrop of politics and human rights violations and whatnot, but like decent World Cup. Happy to see Argentina lose, and intrigued to see what these men have picked for their awards, because I know there's always some wild votes here. But yeah, all good, man.
Yeah. The Social Media Derby awards are always crackers. We've always got absolutely left field agendas or agending, as we talked about before we went live. But I think this week's awards went okay. So we got a lot to get into. But Rhys, how you doing, bro? Lots of transfers again. But how you doing anyway? The summer's been good so far?
Yeah, man. I mean, I haven't had to crash out in months. Feel like I haven't had to speak about Chelsea or even watch Chelsea like for a good few months. So yeah, I've been good, man. This is better than therapy, bro. Like I feel much better. Good World Cup, I enjoyed it, and now we're back. Uncle Jabby's here to ease the pain, and we go again.
Yeah, let's get into it then. It's obviously been a few weeks now since the World Cup ended. Spain won it, beating Argentina in the final. All the memes and jokes are out there that the whole world became Spanish, which I found pretty funny as well, considering everything that has been going on in Spanish football for a while. But the world was Spanish. There was a lot of people supporting or against Argentina. And in the end, it went right to extra time with Ferran Torres scoring the winning goal. I think Spain also unfairly got one disallowed before in the 90 as well. So it was a very fair result, I think, for everyone. Spain ended up winning with, I think, only conceding one goal, right, to Erling Haaland's Norway. in the early stages. I mean, sorry, no, it was Belgium, wasn't it, in the quarterfinal? So yeah, they had a pretty immaculate World Cup, and yeah, they've come out of it with winners. Rhys, you got them in the sweepstake. I'm pretty sure all of us favoured France or thought France were probably the likely winners at some point during the tournament, and Spain came up kind of along the rails and nicked it. But yeah, I don't know. Rhys, what did you make of the World Cup as a whole? Obviously, like Razor said, there was a lot going on with, Balogun, red cards rescinded and all kinds of other stuff. Referees not getting given visas, fans being denied entrance. I think the Iran team were escorted in and out of America swiftly when they had matches. But that aside, what did you make of the football on show? And do you think it was one of the better World Cups you've seen recently? Rhys?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was good. I thought there was quite a lot of goals. Smaller teams did sort of play their part and make up for, I guess, the amount of teams that were in it. But no, in all, I thought it was a good World Cup, surrounded by obviously Messi and whatnot. Obviously, the outside stuff didn't help it, but yeah, there was a lot to sort of enjoy. Maybe not England in particular, but yeah.
I'm kind of sad that Johnson's not on this pod because it would be fun to dissect England with him. Obviously, considering how much he's still there, bro. How much he is supporting England throughout the tournament. But Razor, what did you make of this World Cup? Do you think it was better or worse than the Qatar one 4 years ago?
I think ultimately Infantino and FIFA have managed to continually get away with the fact that the World Cup is a very magical tournament. There's literally nothing like it in sport, I feel, in terms of how much attention it attracts, the magic behind it, how much emotion it kind of like evokes from people and whatnot. And the sad thing is, it seems to not matter how bad the kind of stuff going on around the World Cup is. The World Cup will still be fantastic viewing from a football perspective. We had the discussions before Russia. We had the discussions before Qatar. There was a lot of discussions, a lot of like articles, a lot of documentaries and stuff going out before this like World Cup, the 2026 World Cup, about the USA in particular. But yeah, I think despite them doing their best to make it the most dystopian and strange World Cup in history, it was still really entertaining. There was still a really high level of football, a lot of underdog stories, a lot of players that you didn't expect to turn up, showing up. But then also, I feel like pretty much all of the big names turned up this World Cup in it, which is kind of what you want to see in it. Like, if I'm watching France in the World Cup in a big game, I want to see the Mbappe show. If I'm watching, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, I think it was all like, I think it was a good World Cup. I think there was a lot of good fixtures, a lot of like really interesting moments, a couple of disappointing moments, I think, like across the board. And yeah, I think like once a day, I was just like, why the hell did Nigeria not qualify for this? you epic disappointing. But yeah, shout out England and them, man, did their thing. Best finish in 60 years. So yeah. A lot of people will be like negative about them, but I think if you asked people at the start of the tournament, do you think the English national team is better than the French national team? They'd have been like, no. And then it would have been like, do you think the English national team is better than the Spanish national team? They might have and ahed a bit. Argentina, they might have and ahed a bit. So FIFA determined us to be, somewhere around the top 3 teams in the world. And the tournament kind of determined us to be somewhere around the top 3 teams in the world. I can't say. I think obviously you can always like think about what could have been, but I don't think you can be like disappointed per se. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I agree as well. I think the World Cup is just one of those events like the Olympics where even if they host it in somewhere slightly controversial, or there's, a bunch of political stuff going on in the background, it still delivers. I can't really remember a World Cup where it was just like royal stinker, and all of the other stuff in the backdrop actually affected the on the pitch stuff. And I can't agree with you more, man. In terms of the actual narratives and storylines around the tournament, like the actual play, there was just every day there was something going on. Underdogs like Cape Verde, who did amazing. I think at one point 8 or 9 of the 10 African teams was like through to the knockout stages, which is a really great return. And just there were just so many different storylines going on. And then, like you said, pretty much all the big dogs and the top superstar players that we all hoped would shine pretty much did. So I think from that perspective, it kind of saved all the rubbish that was going on around and all the madness that was happening, with the Balogun rescinded red card. I think the referee decisions generally for a tournament were decent. There were some stinkers here and there, but I think even on that side, things weren't too mad, despite all the Argentina allegations going on. I thought it was a good World Cup, all in all. And I think Spain in the end, despite my preference for type of football, which I didn't really love their style, I think they were clearly the best overall team, right? Like they worked together the best. They didn't necessarily have the bagsman up front or anything like that, but they clearly had a system that was very effective, a coach that did really well, and a blend of kind of experience and youngsters that just performed really, really well. So I think all in all, the World Cup delivered for the most part. The England one, we should chat about a bit more because I hear what you're saying, but my criticism for them is more about the manager than the players or anything like that. Because Bellingham played unbelievable. Kane played pretty well throughout. But I think the system and the approach hampered a lot of the other players. But I don't know what you, man, think about that. Razor, do you think even Tuchel maybe he's getting a bit too much stick?
Nah. I would give him more stick based on some of the decisions that were made and that we're still learning about. You know what I mean? Like, I think some of the tactical decisions that were made in that Argentina game, I know you might have seen like the tweets and that, like where it's like Gareth Southgate's waistcoat was calling to him like the Green Goblin mask. And it was like, yeah, go ultra defensive. You can do this. You can win like this. Yeah, bizarre, especially because I feel like he was brought in controversially or not, however you look at it. But I feel like he was brought in to kind of be the opposite of that. Do you know what I mean? Experienced in these kind of tournament situations, not overly cautious, pragmatic, tactical, willing to make changes. Do you know what I mean? I think that's something that Tuchel's been like sort of lauded for. So to me, it's just completely bizarre. And then when you get things coming out like, what do you call it? You know, Saka saying that he was fit and he wanted to play more minutes. And I'm watching. We watched the World Cup where Madueke and Gordon, I think, got more minutes than Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka. Yeah, bro. Like, I'm not like I said. Overall, where we finished, cool. I can accept it, or like I can understand that. I feel like it's a fair sort of reflection of where the squad is, but the opportunity we had, yeah. I feel like, yeah. To answer your question directly, sorry, I don't feel like Tuchel's getting too much stick. I think he could get more stick. Yeah. Underwhelmed.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
agree,
staying
bro.
until the Euros.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think there were times when I thought maybe people are going in on him a little bit too prematurely, like in the earlier rounds. But after the Argentina game, that's when I got radicalized, because you have to then put that other stuff into context of that game as well. And if you think about it, like, respect to a lot of the teams that England played, because it's not a case of we didn't play like, I'm going to disrespect some team if I give examples, but, you know, we didn't play Faroe Islands or Luxembourg or, like, you know, a real minnow, but they played DR Congo. And let's be real, should have been 2-0 down with that one. If Visser tucks away that chance that he had. It was a very underwhelming performance. Even that one, I think tactically he went way too defensive as well in that game. And then Norway, again, I just don't think we played that well. And I think tactically, again, he didn't set up the right way, and his selection was a bit dodgy. And then I think the Argentina game, you're in the semi-final, 1-0 up, 85 minutes. But from 65 minutes onwards, from the time that Gordon scored the goal, the players decided they were just going to sit back, and he just enabled them rather than trying to do something to change what was happening. And I think what he came out and said afterwards was pretty disgraceful, when he's talking about, you know, he tried to help the team once they decided to defend or kind of go back further. And it's like it's like the students run in the classroom. The teacher's supposed to get a hold of the situation and do something about it. And man was bringing on Dan Burn and every defender he had on the bench. So, yeah. And I think that Saka interview after the third place playoff, that killed him. Because the Rashford-Gordon one, respectfully, I think Rashford's a better player than Gordon, but Gordon did improve a lot in the last few games he played, but I still stand by the fact I think Rashford's better. I don't think anyone in their right mind, no one thinks Noni Madueke is anywhere near the player that Bukayo Saka is. And he showed that, even if he's not 100% fit for the France game, but he said he was. How he didn't even get 5-10 minutes off the bench, even that would be a joke, but he got no minutes. So I don't know. Rhys, what do you make of it, mate? Do you think Tuchel deserves some more criticism, or do you think the players deserve some as well?
Sorry, I missed that last bit of the question. What was the last bit?
Do you think Tuchel deserves the credit? The criticism, or do you think the players deserve to get a bit more?
Oh no, definitely. I think the whole country can see it. I think he did shit the bed, especially when we went 1-0 up. I just think all that talk about not having the type of players to play, you pick the team. And I'll be the first to defend Tuchel based off what he did at Chelsea. I always had him as a top manager in high regard, but I just think he was employed for this simple reason, to get us over the line. And he did the same thing that we would criticize Gareth Southgate for. And I was just really disappointed, because you could just see our backs were against the wall. You could see when they scored the first goal, the second goal was coming, and we might not even make extra time. And even then, if we went to extra time, what would you have done then? Because we couldn't sit back like we was doing. So I do think he needs to take a lot of the blame. As sad as it is, these are your players that you picked. So I don't really want to hear that we don't have the type of players to control the ball or hold the ball up. And I just think, he let himself down. I don't know, mate. I think he was quite arrogant, because it worked against Mexico and it worked against Norway in the last minutes. But he thought he could do that against the world champions who were previous world champions and Messi. So, and I just think there's an element of arrogance there. So I do think he should hold a lot of criticism. But whether it's something he can learn from, fair enough. But that's not what we kind of got him in for. We kind of got him to be the difference to these games. And I just don't think he was. And even then, I don't even think there was a game we dominated, except Croatia in the second half. And I don't want to sound too critical, because obviously it's the best finish we've had. But I do think there was some dodgy decisions along the way in terms of how he picked the team and how he set up. I definitely think we could have been more front-footed. But yeah, I guess if he stays, he's got to learn from it. But if not, I fully understand why, because he bottled that game against Argentina. Not to say we would have beaten Spain, because I don't think we would have. But I definitely think we definitely could have at least managed that game and saw it out.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with the Tuchel appointment was we like the FA hired him, I guess, to overcome these sort of challenges in these sort of games, because that was the kind of Achilles heel of Southgate. He would generally beat all the teams we should beat, probably in similar fashion, unconvincingly for the most part, but he'd get over the line. And then in the games where things were actually fairly even, or we weren't like the resounding favourite, he'd lose. Croatia in the 2018 World Cup, Italy in the final of the 2020 Euros, which was in 2021, the France 2022 in Qatar, although that was probably the best performance. It was, Harry Kane penalty miss, but still, it was still there. And Tuchel came in to overcome challenges in these sort of games. And as much as Argentina did amazingly to get to the final, and they definitely did bop England off the pitch when we scored in that game, I still don't think that team's that good. And I still think England had enough players with Saka on the pitch, with better squad management, a fitter Rhys on the pitch. I think England could have won and should have won. So yeah, I think Tuchel, man, I think he's I think there is an element of arrogance. I agree with you, Rhys, but I think that's kind of his character. And we were hoping we'd get the big manager arrogance that you get with that kind of level of coach to help the team. But I don't know, the little back and forth he had with Bellingham, big up Io for joining, is maybe the arrogance in the manager backfired. Because I don't know, we didn't talk about that either, right? What did you, man, make of the whole Tuchel Bellingham stuff after, was it the Norway game? Because that looked dodgy for me. I know the reporter kind of, he made the most of that situation to try and make it a bit of a story, but Tuchel didn't really help himself with that. What do you make of it, Io? We're just talking England in the World Cup.
Perfect time to join. The shake of the head by Poker. It was a great time. Congo versus England. Great time. I think both just sensitive individuals, really. But no, I think Bellingham's more justified than Tuchel. I think Tuchel was just being a bit of a moaner. There was no need to. I think you can not be happy with performance because they didn't look good. No, it was after Mexico, wasn't it? Was it Mexico? No, it was Norway.
Yeah, it was Norway, I think.
Norway, yeah. And I think you can not be happy with performance, but yeah, I think there's a way, like you say it. And I think everyone's trying to blame Gabriel Clark for his questions, but I think as he said, I think as a journalist, that's what he meant to do. He meant to ask the right questions, get a reaction, and I don't think you can really blame him for what he did. He asked the question, Tuchel reacted. He might have been able to, maybe the way he gave it to Bellingham was a bit like, you could tell it was like an agenda.
It was sneaky, bro.
Yeah, it was sneaky.
It was sneaky. He did a half-truth with Bellingham, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't give Bellingham the full picture, but yeah, I think Bellingham's right to feel kind of like sensitive and like aggrieved, but yeah, maybe that might, but I don't, yeah, I think emotions were high. I'm sure they must have ironed it out in the dressing room after, but yeah, I think Tuchel was more to blame. I don't think you say that right after performance, after you just win a game as well. I think it was a bit too reactionary, but I think that's him.
You say that though. I want to throw this out as well. Like I felt like the Saka one, he was kind of, I don't know. You don't normally see like Saka pissed off, but I kind of got the vibe he was a little bit aiming at Tuchel with his I'm 100% fit and I could have played stuff too. So I don't know. Razor, what do you think? Do you think that he did iron it out? Because I feel like there are a couple of players that were still kind of unhappy with him even after that game.
For starters, you're going to see all kinds of new Saka's, because Saka is, you know, a Premier League champion. You know what I mean? And he's acting like it. He's walking the walk. He's talking the talk. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? We're gonna see all kinds of different Sakas this season. Be prepared for it. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not your mate anymore. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Saka sort of be that outspoken and say the quiet part out loud. I agree. I think usually it's the kind of thing that he would like hint at, or maybe do the half like you know, a little face and kind of let you work it out. But he obviously seemed a bit like unhappy or perplexed, like the rest of the country, as to why he would not be getting minutes in such key games. But yeah, like I think the whole thing in terms of like squad selection, I think, as much as it pains me to say it, based on like what I'd seen him do at Chelsea and other clubs and like the way he like sort of conducted himself and the kind of gaffer he was, I did have quite a high regard for him coming into the job. And like, I was one of the people who was like, do you know what? If he has a system that he's going to play that works for this England team, and that's why he's not taking the Cole Palmers and that's why he's not taking the Trents, cool. Bruv, why am I seeing flipping Konsa like trying to spam crosses in the 85th minute? Trent Alexander-Arnold is on holiday. He's on holiday. And do you get what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. If you were just going to bring on Noni Madueke to play chaos ball when the plan is to be like 2-3-0 up when you've already had Saka running at them for 75 minutes, yeah, then I understand. Okay, cool. You got some logic there, maybe. Why is Cole Palmer watching the World Cup from Box Park and we've got Noni playing like the majority of the minutes? Like, what's going on here, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think the decisions looked sketchy in the light. There were a bunch of players that I didn't understand what was going on. Man brought Henderson as a mascot. Just, bruv, yeah. I think like, I don't know. He didn't cover himself in glory. That's the best way to put it. Do you know what I mean? We can be like satisfied or pleased with England's overall sort of performance in the tournament and you know, acknowledge that it wasn't very convincing. It probably was more difficult than it needed to be. Argentina probably were there for the taking. Would we have beat Spain? Probably not. But yeah, going out like that just felt a bit limp.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think you have to take your opportunities when you get them. And I feel like this period, while it's been England's best period for God knows how long, under Southgate, and then this little period now with Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp's now the Germany manager. Ancelotti's going to somehow work out Brazil. I mean, they didn't do great in this tournament, but I feel like he's a good enough coach, and surely they've got to have good enough players somewhere knocking about that they can actually make a proper team of it. Pep Guardiola's he's available now for another country to get at some point as well. So potentially it's going to get more difficult as time goes by to win a major tournament like this. So who knows? We may look back on this period and think that was massive opportunities missed. But World Cup is done. We'll get involved in the awards now. So I mentioned it earlier in the intro. We got 5 of the lads to vote on 7 different categories. So we got best player, best young player, so it's under 21 or 21 and under. Best coach, breakout player, flop player, overachievers, team specifically, and then underachievers team specifically. We'll start with best player. So we did get a winner. We got 1 vote for Messi. We got 1 vote for Rodri, and we got 3 votes for Kili Mbappe. Finished with 10 goals and 4 assists. So Mbappe is the winner with 3 votes. I think, Rhys, you were the one who voted for Messi. what was the thinking behind it? Was it just that he dragged the team and it was basically Messi one-man team?
Yeah, 100%. Just the way he kind of stood up and sort of carried Argentina through the rounds, made England shit the bed twice when he set up 2 goals. And yeah, I just think overall for his age and what he did, I just thought, yeah, he's probably my player of the tournament. Although obviously I just think Mbappe went missing against Spain. I think they locked him down and out of the game. Obviously they did that to Messi as well, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like Messi's individual performances carried the whole team, whereas Mbappe was kind of a superstars. But yeah, I hear it though, from against that. I went Mbappe.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I won my bet.
Yeah, true. I don't think any of these are not like crazy shouts. I mean, Razor, you went for Rodri, right? That was the other outlier.
Yeah,
I'm assuming best player on the best team, right?
Absolutely. I also think like Rodri was like the metronome of that Spanish team. Like he was so key. And do you know what? Maybe I've overstated it because I kind of doubted if he was still that guy like that. Do you know what I mean? You go away with an injury like that, you come back after a long period of time. Not gonna lie, he weren't looking like the same scary hours guy for a lot of the time when he was featuring for City past season. So I was like, oh, snap, he still got it like that. And I feel like he was a very key player in Spain being so like sort of dominant, especially conceding so few goals. So yeah, for me, I think he was definitely player of the tournament. I hear going for someone who probably like got goals or like did stuff further up the field a lot more. But yeah, I genuinely think like every time I saw Spain play, and I guess like you were saying, Antony, it's not like the most aesthetic or exciting sort of brand of football, if you like, on show at the World Cup. But I think every time you saw Spain play, like anytime people tried to attack them or get at them, it didn't matter like how good those attackers were. He basically told them, shut up. No, you're not about this life. And it was real peak for everyone involved almost the entire way through, bar one slip up. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why I went for Rodri.
Yeah, I hear it. You obviously voted like me and Johns for Mbappe. For me, I'll ask you after this, but I know Mbappe scored the 2 goals in the 3rd place, and a lot of people, I think Wazza was saying on the punditry that those goals shouldn't count, and I kind of get it because you got knocked out. It shouldn't really count towards your total. But that Spain game aside, I couldn't really argue if someone said Mbappe put France on his back for most of the tournament, because I know they have a better team than Argentina, but he was by far and away their best player throughout, like scoring a winning goal and basically rattling the entire Paraguay team, which was beautiful to see. Like he just scored it. Like, I mean, even against Morocco, that game was stinking up the gaff until he, slapped one in, and then the whole game changed and France completely dominated them. So I don't know. That was my thinking. I thought he was, while their team was stacked and they probably underachieved, I just think Mbappe at the World Cup is a different combo. He just never disappoints. What was your thinking?
No, completely agree with that as well. I think France has overall, it was all as you said, he put France on his back. That's why, not to go to the flop yet, but I feel like he without him, like as much as they had all the stars, they had all the names, like without Mbappe, they just didn't seem to have any ideas. So I literally everything you said, I completely agree with. He was the one that got into Paraguay's head. Every game he played, he was just always a threat. Like he was always scary. Like you didn't know what he was going to do, but you just knew that once you got that ball, you could just feel the excitement in the stadium. You could see the excitement of the French players. Like obviously he was like, it's mad to be a one-man team when you've got that many stars around you, but like he somehow made France like a one-man team. And obviously Rodri was amazing. Like Messi, like Rodri, I've never been the biggest Rodri fan, but like obviously like he's clean. Like he's very clean. He's very efficient. And he was phenomenal for Spain. And Messi, same thing. Like, I think Rhys is always correct. Like, the age, what he was doing, he basically carried them. But I think what Mbappe just did was he was just a star. Like, no matter where the situation seemed to be, he would take that game. And I think Spain was able to nullify him because, yeah, the rest of the team just didn't turn up for him, really. They just kind of shit the bed as well. So, yeah, I think overall, I'm literally aligned with you, Mbappe. I think he showed why he's, I think, the best player in the world pretty much on his day. And, yeah, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah. It was frightening, man, in some games. I think it was a Norway one where I think it was from a short corner. He just cut in and like slapped one in, and it was just, it was too many reminders of like big superstars at previous World Cups just delivering, and it was just constant. I did want to ask you, man, about this because after the World Cup, understandably, Rodri's got another big accolade on his achievement list, and I saw on social media, we are called the social media derby, obviously. There was this Rodri Busquets debate. I wanted to get you man's take on it. We haven't really talked about it in the group chat. I have a strong opinion about this, but it's pretty polarizing. So I wanted to get you man's take. Razor, I saw you smile a bit there. What do you make of it? Do you think he's in that conversation? Some people even saying he's clear of Busquets. What's your take on it?
He can be in the conversation. He's definitely in the conversation. And do you know what the problem is when you compare people from different generations? Yeah, there's no like sort of like, it's difficult to apply the context of how the game has changed and how the role has changed. Yeah, and in the same way that like Rodri is probably everything that you want from a midfielder playing in that part of the pitch now. Busquets was unbelievable, and I think if you saw him play, it'd be very difficult to say that Rodri is like clear of him, or like he's better than him. Do you know what I mean? Not for me personally. I think I rate Rodri so highly, and now he's gone off to Madrid as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Ahead of ourselves.
I think they're fine. They're after him now.
Yeah, so like I'll be able to like rate him more when he's no longer at 115 FC. But yeah, Busquets was just he's unreal. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna turn around and be able to say like Rodri's clear of him. And I think like they have this problem in a lot of American sports as well when they talk about like basketball, like who's the GOAT, whatever else, yeah. But like people need to be able to distinguish between someone having a better career or a comparable career, and then also like how they played. Do you know what I mean? The impact that they had on the game around them, innit? And like Rodri does all the quiet bits really well. Every now and again, he will be the star of the show, but Busquets was just different gravy to me personally, innit? Yeah. Respectfully speaking to everyone involved, because we're talking about two high-level players, but
you're being too respectful for my liking, bro. This is
I just voted Rodri for Player of the World Cup.
I know. But this is like in the tennis debate where Djokovic has got like bare accolades and now everyone thinks he's clearly the GOAT. I'm sorry, style matters a lot in sport, and like the way you play matters a lot, and you get extra points for that. And I think Busquets is better than Rodri. Like they can be in the conversation, no problem, but yeah, Busquets was different gravy, man, for me. I think the clear thing, I did, that wasn't my opinion, clearly, right? But I did see people go mad on social media saying Rodri's clear. There's no world that Rodri's clear of Busquets. Yeah, and I would still think there's more argument to say the other way around. He's in the conversation for sure, and he's class. But I don't know, Ayo, you went off mic then for a minute. Yeah,
no,
Busquets, man.
I saw that a lot as well. Like I had it in my own group chats as well. I was a Busquets defender. I was like, there's no way I'm taking Rodri over Busquets. But I had many conversations where people were saying Rodri can do everything Busquets can do, but
no, he
like
can't.
better. And yeah, I had to disagree vehemently. I was like, there's no way I'm taking Virgil over Busquets. But obviously, yeah, I think it's fair to have a conversation. You can't deny it. Like he does influence the game. But I think just what Busquets did as a DM, he was just like consistency, longevity. Obviously, he was always only going to be outshone by Xavi and Iniesta. But he was so integral to everything they did, and his ability, like in close control, his size, like he was just able to just wiggle out of any situation. And it was just, I don't know, he didn't eyes for us. I can't describe a man being tall. You men are so childish, just childish. Look at you, try to hold in Snickers. Be better. Be better. But yes, the fact Busquets is tall and lanky, if that's better. Yeah, like his close control is just like on another level at times. So yeah, no, I agree. I'd always take Busquets over Rodri, but yeah, no, I think obviously it's a conversation to be had because you can't deny what Rodri's done, and he's been integral to like City's treble winning, Spain now winning the Euros and the World Cup. Like you can't deny that, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I hear it, man. Rhys, I'm guessing from your reactions as well, you're agreeing with us with Busquets over Rodri, or have I misread that?
Oh no, 100%. I don't want to say it's not a debate, but I think you can't confuse, like Razor said, you can't confuse accolades with actual ability. I just think even like when you think back to how good Busquets is on the ball and be able in terms of his press resistance, I just think he was next level. But I think that's not to disrespect what Rodri's done in the game, but I just think it's two different errors, if you like, and times of what we're dealing with. But no, Rodri does get his props. But if you look back at that Spain team or that Barcelona team, I just don't see him getting picked over Busquets.
Yeah, I hear you, and I think to Io's point earlier, where people in his group chat are saying like Rodri can do all the things that Busquets can do. Like, I'm sorry, like the press resistance point that you just made there, Rhys, about Busquets was another level, man. The little shimmy, the little feint to get out of, being pressed by two players. I don't see Rodri have that like kind of situation. Back. Yeah, the drag backs, the little layoffs and stuff like that. Like it was effortless. Whereas I feel like Rodri is just he's going to score highly in all categories, but I think Busquets will score immaculately in a bunch of them. And then I think people, to Io's point about the physicality stuff with Busquets, I think it was a bit underrated, bro, as well. Like, okay, he used to dive about a bit and it was, that's the way that La Liga was at the time. But like he used to come up against some pretty physical Real Madrid teams and other teams in the Champions League, and he could hold his own. So I don't think you could even resoundingly give that side of the attributes to Rodri. I think, it's an interesting one, but I was quite surprised, man, with how everyone, I don't know if it's like recency bias or what, have gone wild with saying all these things about how Rodri's clear and Rodri's better. But I think for me, Busquets is still ahead. But let's go on to the next category, best young player. So this was easy. Everyone voted for the same person. It was Pau Kubasi, centre-back for Barcelona and Spain. Crazy. I think it was his first World Cup, right? Well, I hope it is. I think he's like 18 or 19. It would have been mad if he played in Qatar. But yeah, together with Laporte. I don't know about you, man, but I've seen Kubasi at Barca and he's looked really, really good in the handful of games that I've seen. I didn't automatically look at that defense and think Spain were going to be so strong. Like, Unai Simon, we were all talking about it, and I've said in the group, I think he's shit, but he was unbelievable. He got a Golden Glove. But then you look at, what was it? Right back, you've got, what's his face from Tottenham, Porro. Pretty shocking. Those guys finished 17th. He's been shit. But he was class in this tournament. Cucurella, who at the time was a Chelsea player, but not anymore, now playing at Real Madrid. And then, those two. And I just thought that defence as a whole was unbelievable, but centre-back Kubasi, I just thought he was so solid. And alongside Laporte, I just thought it was unreal. And I guess you guys all agree. Rhys, what did you make of him? I don't know if you've watched him loads for Barcelona, but I was impressed, man.
My first experience of Kubasi was when I saw him get smoked by Esteval at Stamford Bridge in the Champions League. So I didn't think much of him. Can't lie. But no, I credit to him. I think when Spain dominate a lot, but I just think they were really good at nullifying any attacking threat, and it shows because they didn't concede any goals. But I didn't have him at the start of the tournament. I didn't think he would be up there as the young player of the tournament. You normally go for an attacking player, but no, he was quality, and I think he came into that role really well alongside Laporte. And the defensive coverage that Spain had in general was really good. Props to him, man. He's got a bright future, except when he comes up against Esteval.
I was waiting for you to complete the circle on that one. Aya, what did you make of him? Because I'm pretty sure you've said good things about him on previous pods or in the group chat. So I don't know if you had a higher opinion than Rhys did.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can doubt a man that can not walk into Barca's team, but to be. I think he's played over 40 games, like 50 games. Like he's just being a fixture, especially with the way that what's his name at Barca? What's the manager's name again? With the
Flick.
Yeah, exactly. Like to be able to be in Flick system and to handle that as a young boy, like you just see, he just has no fear. And then like his awareness, his positioning. I think there was like a block he made even in the final against Argentina. Like he was just everywhere. Like he just knows. He just knows where the ball is going to land, and to be that good, that young, and obviously he's Spanish as well, so he just has composure on the ball, but he can defend, and like he's not rash. Like obviously you've had like your Ramos in the past, or you might have like your PKs or your Puyols that are like clean on the ball, but not like maybe athletically the best. Where you got Ramos who's like an athletic beast, but also very rash. I feel like Kubasi has just combined all the traits of all of them. Like he's not super fast, but he's an athlete. Like he's smart on the ball, he's technical, doesn't seem to be out of position. I think only saw him once get spun. And it was like I was like, wow, but I forgot who he was playing against in the World Cup. But apart from that, he's never seemed to make a mistake. And the kid's 18, so like realistically, if he keeps on this track, he's gonna have like another 3 or 4 World Cups. Like if he stays on this track. So to win a World Cup at 18, you can't say anything bad about him, man. Yeah, easily the best young player there was.
Yeah, go on, Razor. What's your take on him?
No, I agree. I was just going to be annoying and say he's 19. You're looking sleepy again, bro. You get your numbers mixed up again, bro.
But touche. No, let me check when his birthday was. I bet man turned 90.
January, bro. Just let it go. Just my bad, the thing. Just my bad, the thing. I checked before I corrected you.
Look at that.
Nah. He was fantastic. He was fantastic. I think the whole Spanish team and back line were fantastic. And I think it goes to show what we say a lot of the time about like where new manager bounce comes from at club level, because like styles make fights, systems make players. Pedro Porro looked unreal for Spain. Looked unreal for Spain. I had to keep reminding myself is the same guy that plays for flipping Spurs. Like I was like unbelievable. And it's not like Spence, who, like I've said in the group chat before, you know, I'm as much of a fan of him as I can be of a Spurs player. Like I was a big fan of him before the tournament. Even though he was playing at Spurs, I was seeing shades of it. I was seeing what he could do. Like Cucurella was great, but I've seen Cucurella be a great fullback. Do you know what I mean? Even when Chelsea were being terrible, Cucurella was being decent for them. Do you know what I'm saying? But Porro, do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I think Kabasi really stood out. Just I had to keep like reminding myself of his age, and I think in a team where there's so much focus, there's so many like elite level players, and B, there's so much expectation, and there's probably a queue of older, more experienced guys behind you. For him to remain that composed and be like just so good and so like quality throughout the tournament, I thought was spectacular. And like Ayo says, I think one thing that's quite exciting about this new generation of young players is a lot of them are getting top level experience at a young age. And I think that's gonna be really sick to see in World Cups to come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think I agree with that. But the centre back stuff is so unusual, man. If you look at all the top centre backs, like even the best ones in world football right now, the majority of them all started to really like become the players that they are. Let's say earliest, like kind of 23, 24. I'm thinking like even Saliba was like around that kind of age when he started to like become like one of your key players in defense. But if you look at Van Dijk's, it was like mid to late 20s when he started to really shine. Like there's a lot of defenders that start to like really improve and reach the levels that we're talking about here with Kabasi way later. The fact that this guy's doing at 18 and 19 or whatever he is, whichever one of you is right about the age, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's nuts, man. And apart from Yamal, who I think has got the crazy stat where he's got like 100 games for Barca before he'd even turned 18 or something, like Kabasi's got to be up there for Barca as well in terms of his appearances. So that's what we're talking about in terms of talent for a centre-back. Crazy. I think can only be Barca as well.
I think the thing as well, like, I think before the tournament, everyone would have said best young player would be Yamal as well. Like,
yeah,
there's no, like, there's literally, like, I don't, obviously Kabasi was rated, but no one would think he'd be the best young player of the entire tournament. And for him to come out, like, obviously just be able to, obviously he doesn't have the pressure Yamal was playing under, so I guess that's one benefit. But yeah, he was a shining young talent when, Yamal's been touted as like the next big thing, like the next, like generational player. And Kabasi came out, I was like, nah, mate, don't you forget about me, son.
They're doing something over there, man. Like Gavi and Pedri are like what, 21 and 23 as well. They're doing something.
Gavi got no minutes, bro.
Yeah. Most action he got was when he got punched up. The most action he got in the whole World Cup was after the final whistle when he got choked out. But even Pedri, I mean, even Pedri got dropped for like the big games, right? So like this moves to the next category, which is best coach. Again, spoiler: everyone went for De La Fuente. 5 votes, makes complete sense. My man has won a Euros and a World Cup. Just coming out, he's never heard. No one ever heard of that guy before the Euros, the last Euros. Let's be real. Maybe in Spain they did, but none of us lot did in England. We didn't know who this Don was. We thought it was going to be Spanish Southgate, bald version. It's going to be a joker. They're going to be rubbish. And then, he's come out with a Euros and a World Cup at the first time of asking. And I think even at like youth levels, he won a lot with Spain. So my man is just a pure winner. So we got, I guess, the same token that we were slating Tuchel earlier for weird decisions. It seems like De La Fuente's decisions, dropping Pedri's a big call, man. I don't know about you, man, but I was shocked when I saw that. As much as Fabian Ruiz is good and Rodri was playing well, I would have never dropped Pedri, but it obviously worked. So I don't know what, Rhys, I don't know what you think about De La Fuente and his coaching performance.
I think he completely exemplifies, like he's the perfect example of the styles make fights and, like tactics and systems make players. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, look at all the available forwards, if you like, that could start up top for Spain. And the fact that he's got Ozaryabal doing the things that he's doing and getting the kind of his goal record in that Euros that they won was brazy as well, if I remember correctly. He was very involved in it. So it's mad because like he's taking a team and he's making the team work. Cool. You got Rodri, you're gonna play Rodri where you play Rodri, you got Lamine Yamal, you're going to let Lamine Yamal do Lamine Yamal things. But he's also making big calls for the system. And I think, like, you know what I'm saying, like dropping Pedri, that obviously works for the system. I think in England, for example, you would be hard pressed to get away with dropping the keeper that just won the Premier League, or not even considering starting the keeper that just won the Premier League and was a third Golden Glove back to back or something stupid like that. Like he's just like, I don't care. This is my guy. And you know what? When it works, who can doubt you, bro? Like when it's working like this, how can we doubt you? So I think there are probably to us like things that we don't even see, like what they're seeing in training, but he's going like, right, cool, for this game we don't need a Pedri, or they've looked at the setup and he's like, yeah, David Raya is great, but we don't, there's this one thing that Unai Simon does better than him that we need him to do, and he does it. So and I think he just makes that decision right every time that I've like seen him there. And there was a lot of talk about coming from the youth thing and whether we have the equivalent of that. But I think England and other nations are always going to go after a big name rather than promoting someone from that. You know what I mean? Like where you're saying that we didn't know who he was, but he's doing the damn job. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of other nations are getting like old school legends that played for the country or big name managers. They're not doing the damn job. Like we'll get to the biggest underachievers in a bit, but
yeah. And I mean, I just find it like it's super interesting that he was just in the Spanish FA. He's been in that system for ages, like decades. And he's a big man. He's like 50 plus years old or whatever. He's not like a young up and coming coach. And he just kind of roundabout just gets the Spain job and just kills it. And I agree with you. I don't think England's set up to do that kind of stuff. But Rhys, I don't know what you made of the Spanish coach. And yeah, I mean, I still disagree with the Unai Simon thing. But yeah, I obviously look like a prat now, and he looks like a genius. But Rhys, what did you make of De La Fuente's performance at the World Cup?
Yeah, I think he kind of showed his levels. He also showed that there's a system in Spain that probably works in terms of the hiring of managers. They look like they've all brought up to play one way of football, and it sort of is integrated from the younger generation of teams to the olders. So yeah, and also he came from the under-21, so he probably worked with a lot of these players that were there sort of now. So I just think it shows what you can go a long way when you sort of have this system and you put a lot of faith in your coaches. And I think obviously that's where England falls short in terms of we don't really have any top coaches in the Premier League, bar maybe Eddie Howe. But I think yeah, overall you have to give him props. Yeah, he's not a big name manager. He came in from the under-21s, and he's just got his head down. And when everyone was picking France, he probably wrote Spain off when they drew their first game. He just called for calm. And I think he even said it in the press conference. He said they will score goals and don't panic, and they'll carry on through the tournament. And that's what they did. So, yeah, I think he deserves a lot of props. He's not a big name manager. He just seems happy with sort of the work he's done in football. And yeah, I'm sure when he goes, there'll be another one from Spain that they'll churn out that will, same as La Masia probably, that will just, yeah, learn, like win titles. And it just seems like it's in their DNA ever since, 2008 when they won the Euros.
Yeah.
They'll always be up there.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And I agree. But I wanted to ask, like we talked a little bit earlier about style points with the Rodri Busquets debate. Do you think there's any validity in saying maybe De La Fuente deserves to lose a little bit of credit because of the way Spain won it? It wasn't the most like spectacular way. It was very regimented and systematic. Or do you think that's actually proof that he did an even better job?
Yeah, no, I think there's credence to that. I think it was efficient. I guess that's like the best way. I guess, isn't it? Like it was. I think he just knew that they're not going to concede. I don't know how he decided. I don't know how he created a team that would just refuse to concede chances. Like if you the fact you can hold Argentina to no shots on target for 90 minutes, I think is, and like that just tells you everything. Like France didn't look like scoring against them. So yeah, I think obviously it could be a bit more attractive. And I think when you think back to obviously that 2008 and then the 2010, no, 2012. When
That was 2010.
2010, yeah.
2010, yeah.
08 and 2010, yeah. So when you saw those teams, obviously that Tiki Saka was like in its heyday. It was silky, it was smooth, but they also had a out and out number 9. Like, and they had Torres or they had David Villa. So it was obviously you got to do what you can. And as Razor said about Oyarzabal, like he's not a border striker. So I think you just got to use what you've got. But no, I don't think you can take points. Obviously, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't like amazing. It was maybe not as exciting as France when France are on. But yeah, if you get results, then I'm not going to complain. And I think even when you guys mentioned about with England, I think that's what they should have gave the chance to. I'll say it today with like people from work that she was like Lee Carsley. Like, as much as it doesn't sound as fancy, like it doesn't sound fancy. Obviously, saying Lee Carsley, but I feel like you can just, if Spain can teach you anything, it's that if you get that continuity with, as Rhys said, like he's worked with like Pedri, Fabian Ruiz. He's worked with these young boys coming up. Like he's seen them develop. He's been part of the setup. He's been part of the Spanish FA for so long. And yeah, Lee Carsley might not be fancy. It might not be the name, but he's gonna play football. He's gonna understand how it works and how the team should play. And yeah, and I think that's where Spain, you got to give credit to the FA that I think they said like that. Yeah, where there's gonna be a philosophy how we play football. Like if you come to play for the Spanish national team, this how you're going to grow up, you're going to play football. This exact way you can see it. All the players understand what they need to do. They understand that it's close control, not many touches. You keep that ball, you don't waste it. And then, yeah, back to the big decision, like dropping Pedri. I think he realized Pedri and Rodri maybe just do kind of two. They kind of cancel each other out. He brought in Fabian Ruiz, big decision. Like, before the tournament, you'd have said either Pedri or Yamal would have been the best young player of the tournament. But he drops Pedri and decides like, nah, like Fabian Ruiz works a lot better. And yeah, and look at the success he had. Like he just looked more in control of games. He just didn't concede any chances, and that's such a tactical. I think that's a tactical masterclass from De La Fuente. And yeah, like obviously, yeah, I agree. It could have been maybe better on the eye, but style points are good. But yeah, they left there with a gold medal. So. Or not gold medal. They left there. Yeah, they gold medal. So I think that's what matters in the end of it for me.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to say as well about. We talked about it in the group chat. Like Yamal was clearly not on it. He was like recovering from an injury or whatever, and he didn't have the same attacking threat on the wings that he did at the Euros. Like Nico Williams, I know he looked pretty good in the final when he came on. But he was a bit part player. I mean, they were playing with Baena or whatever at left wing. Like,
mate, but look, but that's been like, look at these players, and he had them playing. They all did a job. Like, not one. Like, it's crazy.
I think that's his credit. Like, he took players that weren't playing to the level of the Nico Williams and Yamal did at the last tournament, made them work super hard for the team, found another approach. That was a little bit less jazzy and attacking and kind of to the style point from the Euros, and just made it super functional. And like Razor said, got Oyarzabal scoring big goals. Don't forget your man Marino scored a couple of big goals as well.
How can you forget? How can you forget that?
That's just what he does.
The job done.
I don't think that's got anything to do with that one. We're talking about turning 6 to a 9. Mikel Marino.
That is Mr. Clutch, bro.
Are you crazy,
bro? You need a goal.
All right. Come on. Let's move on to the next category, man. Let's not get crazy. Breakout player.
Stay where you are, bro. Stay where you are.
Breakout player. This one actually, the votes were all over the shop. So we had one player won with only 2 votes. So that tells you how split everything was. So yeah, John T voted for Manzambi, which is a good shout, to be fair. He got a big £60 million move to Newcastle, although you might be regretting it now. Wait, he went to Villa, didn't he, in the end? Oh man, poor Newcastle, man. I completely forgot that they got gazumped on that one. Nah, he turned out good for him then. He went to Villa. Yeah, and then Rhys, you voted for Diamande.
What did you see from? No, stop that. What did you see from Diamande to give him breakout? He was average.
So I was gonna go Manzambi. No. I was gonna go Manzambi, but the reason I went breakout star because why is he getting 100 million plus euro?
Yeah, no, it's criminal,
Madrid
bro.
And got PSG fighting over. That's the only reason why I said breakout star, because when he was playing, everyone was looking at him like, oh, look at this guy, he's got this speed and this technicality and da. So that is what I as someone he's just got a big move. I was gonna go Manzambi.
You should have gone Manzambi.
You should have stayed with
Manzambi.
Just because
stinky.
it's because of the fee. Like, he's about to make a big money move to a giant. So that's what I classed as a breakout in my sort of definition. But I mean, but I don't know how. I think he got that move for before the World Cup hype rather than the actual World Cup hype. Because again, I'm not trying to be biased, but Ahmad was definitely much better than Diamande was for Ivory Coast in this World Cup, and he's getting £100 million move. I don't think Diamande was that good, bro. I don't think he was good, bro.
Ahmad into this conversation. That's
disgraceful. Bro, come on, shut up. Ahmad was good in the World Cup.
This is why you're an under fire host, bro.
I didn't change the title, bro. It's been months. But Diamande from Rhys. Io went for Quinones from Mexico, which is a decent shout. What's the logic behind that one, Io?
Mate, that boy was firing, man. That boy had rockets in his feet, bro. He had a strike on him, bro. And honestly, Mexico, he was excited, man. Every time he got on that ball, it felt like something was gonna happen. And and for me, obviously, like, breakout is someone I feel like is surprising, or maybe you don't expect to do anything. And I think he just kind of summed up like being breakout. Like, I think he was Mexico's top goal scorer. Like, he brought him back into the game against England, and I think he just had a bit of everything to him, like a bit of flair. He was excited when he got the ball, and I think for me he was like, and I don't know where he came from. I actually don't know who he plays for or where he came from. I'm pretty sure I think he's like Colombian heritage or Colombian. Actually, I think he's actually Colombian or something, and I think he changed to be Mexican. Yeah, so I think for me completely, I think he kind of just sums up what a breakout playing was for me.
Yeah, I hear it. I'd never heard of him as well. I didn't even know he was playing for Mexico. I think I remember him from FM, but back then he was playing for Colombia, so I had no idea it was even the same guy. Big up him. He actually did. He's finished with 4 goals and 1 assist, so he was like one of the highest scoring and assisting players in the World Cup. So that's fair enough. But he didn't win. The winner with 2 votes from myself and from Reza was Aya Bouadi. For Morocco. This is similar though, because bro, I didn't even know he was playing for Morocco. Like, again, FM wise, man was French the whole time. I was playing FM, and then suddenly I see him playing in DM for Morocco, balling out. So and he looks like he's going to get £100 million move as well. To Rhys's point of his logic, it looks like he's going to move now to City for £100 million. But unlike Rhys and Diamande.
2 months before the World Cup. I think he just switched nationalities 2 months before the World Cup or something.
Yeah, he must have. Yeah. But Reza, what was the thinking behind Bouadi and why you picked him?
Eye test. No £100 million moves. No FM preconceptions. Just watch him play several times. And do you know what? For reasons that I'm going to choose not to disclose on the pod, I was hate watching Morocco most of the time when I watched Morocco, but boy, was that guy balling out. Like, he just looked so calm in midfield. I had to double take when I saw his age, because I was like, there's absolutely no way that he's that young being this composed. like just running, bossing in midfield. And like Morocco had some big games that they had to play. They had to play against like big opposition. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just think that he was really, really impressive. Not surprised that he's getting a big money move. And I think again, I understand why I actually didn't think that my vote for this was gonna be attached to the winner, because I thought this group a little bit more focused on the flashy stuff that's being done up the other end of the field. But honestly, I think every time I saw him play, I was just like, wow. And yeah, that's why for me, I think he was a shoo-in. He was probably him. Kabasi definitely for young player, but I think in terms of breakout player, because I knew who Kabasi was before. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think I'd heard his name like once or twice before, and I was just so impressed every time I saw him play.
I think we were linked to him in January, and I think that's why I was pissed off. I think we were linked to him in January, and yeah, we didn't pull the trigger, and now obviously he's going to be 10 times the money, which we could have earned for most likely. So another loss though.
A few teams. I think we were linked with him as well around that time, but I'd never actually seen him play. So that was the key thing. I saw like the compilations and the clips on every time any players linked with any one of our club. You always see the compilations go on X and wherever else, and he looked tidy. But yeah, man, it was the composure just from minute one in the first game. Man just looked comfortable in DM. And let's be real, Morocco's defense is pretty stinky. Right, they've got Issa Diop at centre back. Like he didn't have like the reincarnation of Cannavaro at centre back, so he could just relax on the ball. He had to do a lot of work. And for me, the other one I was thinking about too was Saibari for Morocco as well, because he slapped in a bunch of goals and he looked really good before he got injured. But I think all of these are good shouts. I mean, minus yours, Rhys. I think the Diamande one is a stinker, but I think the rest of them are good.
Can I throw a rogue honourable mention into the mix?
Go on then.
Jed, not on my team, Spence. Cold.
You see, I hear what you're saying about Spain, but I remember I was thinking the same thing, and then people kept saying to me, the only reason he makes these tackles is because he's out of position. And then I started deep in it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, it actually is, because he gets burned and then he recovers, which is good, but it's also don't get burned in the first place. He was solid, but
wonderful this tournament. Yeah,
he was.
And I've got the receipts to prove that in the group chat, like I was saying, like I actually rate this guy. Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people are rating him the way that he's currently rated generally in football, especially in like the English football consciousness before this tournament. And that's why I say I feel like he could be an honorable mention for breakout. Because I think before this tournament, people are like, all right, cool, he plays for Spurs. All right, cool. He does like the funny little Instagram thing, but like you finish 17th, like all of this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it? Like, there was a lot of questions about why he was being taken. Like he was the guy that was coming up in a bunch of different fullback selection discussions. You know what I mean? Especially because it kept being like, oh, he can play right and left. And then I distinctly remember people being like, but there are fullbacks that are better right backs and better left backs than Jed Spence. So yeah, for me, I was close to putting that down. I did tell Antony I was close to putting Bellingham down just to be silly. But based on the fact that
I saw the logic on that too. I saw the logic on the Bellingham one.
I think a lot of people didn't rate
Bellingham. I can be logic on breakout stuff, Jude. Come on,
because he announced himself.
Come on, bro. Bellingham played world. Yeah, but he's. I think this is his second World Cup, right? I know the first one in Qatar, he was mad young, but like this was crazy. That was. We talk about Kane's output, but Bellingham was the don for England in this tournament. It was clearly Bellingham.
But this is still Champions League winner. This is still Champions League winner, Jude.
No, I hear it. He's got the accolades, but still, the way he did it was brazy. I think he deserves. I get the logic, but considering the other names that we've said, it would have looked out of place. But I hear the Spence stuff. But you know what? Yeah, I do agree with what I was saying a little bit about the positional stuff. But even me, who was in the group saying all kinds of madness about Jed Spence before when he got included in there, I had to say fairs. In that Argentina game when he was playing his nuts off and the rest of our defence was absolutely shit, I had to go, you know what? Fairs. Okay, no problem. He's played well. And he's played well, definitely, I think, after the first or second game. Pretty much after that, he played like 8, 9 out of 10 every game that he was involved. So fair play to him, man. I hear it. I think that's not a crazy shot.
He honestly might be the only Tuchel selection, like out of his thing that he did kind of crazy that actually worked out.
Yeah,
like apart from the givers, all the decisions not to bring certain people, like Spence was the only one that's kind of worked out. People are like, okay, we saw kind of what you're thinking there, but everything else he did was just backwards. So you can hold his head up high with the Spence one.
Yeah, I actually agree.
Yeah, I hear it. All right, let's go on to flop player then. So again, this was pretty split as well. So we had, again, a winner with only 2 votes. Myself and Johns voted for this player. We got 1 vote for Cristiano Ronaldo from you, Rhys. We got 1 vote for Florian Wirtz. 1 vote from Florian Wirtz from Razor. We got 1 vote for Ousmane Dembele from Io. And we got 2 votes for Bruno Fernandes from me and John. So Bruno wins it. Since Johnson's not here, I'll be real, Bruno stunk it up. He had an absolutely shit World Cup. I don't only look at stats with him because he's always one of these players that creates a lot of chances, but I can't even say he created a lot of chances for that team. And he kind of got away with it a little bit because Ronaldo was getting so much heat. Because like kind of all the big superstars were scoring and he wasn't. But I think Bruno, considering the season he had and the midfield he was in with Vitinha and Neves and the other players available, I think he had a really poor World Cup. And I think he flopped big time. So, no bias involved. I think Bruno definitely got my vote. What were you saying, Razor?
Yeah, no. Well, I hear all of that. Cool, yeah. Bruno wins that one. Rhys, I nearly voted for CR7 too. I my brother in Christ, Ayo. Like, what are you talking about? Ousmane Dembele? Are you mad? Are you all right?
That did kind of confuse me.
Ballon d'Or winner Dembele that completely stunk it up. Yes, he
completely stunk it up.
Six goals,
including a hat trick.
The hat trick against Norway where they played against Norway when they played nobody. Was it against Norway, right? Was it Norway? It was Norway, wasn't it?
It was against Norway, but he got
when
a hat trick, bro.
But Norway threw the game. Nah, I'm talking about expectations, man. Dembele, there's no reason for
he was playing in Mbappé's team, bro. Mbappé is the supreme dictator of France. You can't be I actually think what Dembele did, the way that he approached the World Cup is how you kind of have to approach playing with an Mbappé type. In the sense of, I'm going to get mine when the opportunity is there, but it's this guy's team. I can't be taking shots from my man. I can't be like from my man. I think Dembele played well when he played well. There were a couple of times when he went missing, but I think there were a couple of times when lots of the French team went missing or were underwhelming. And that's why you, man, voted Mbappé into player of the tournament, because you said he put
I'm with you, but there was like Dembele had chances, man. But that man's finish, like he would get opportunities. Like, obviously, it was all Mbappé centric. I completely agree. But Dembele, there was a game. I don't think it was against Spain, because Spain he was diabolical. There was another one.
You got a goal against Morocco, and they beat Paraguay 1-0. Arguably, like he scored or assisted in all of their group stage games, I believe. So it's like,
nah, man. That Ballon d'Or winner Dembele, fam. I expected more. That's it. Maybe I've just got choice expectations. I'm doing based on expectations, fam. Like you give him.
He won the Ballon d'Or.
Because Wirtz, you gave Wirtz.
What do you mean that's crazy? What do you mean that's crazy? That's not crazy.
That's agenda.
That's not crazy. No, it's not agenda. It's solidarity for my light skinned brother Jamal Musiala. Because why the German press ripping Musiala to shreds for Germany being caca? Germany were caca, but like, come on, bro. Wirtz. And I wish Ken was here, yeah, because before Wirtz was stinky for Liverpool, but good for Germany. And everyone was like, see, he's going to get his groove back. He's still doing it. What now?
Oh, no, he sucked.
He stunk.
Sucked as well. Yeah, he did. He did.
And when he plays well, Germany are a better side.
But it's like, does your, for example, it might be a poor analogy, but does your shit stink worse if you're a bigger person? Most likely. Dembele is a bigger player than Wirtz. So if he stinks it up, it's gonna stink more. And that's
he
my
scored 6 and 2 though.
I disagree. I don't disagree that Dembele is a better player with more expectations than Wirtz, yeah. But I do think it's disingenuous because Wirtz performing at the top of his capability is more important to Germany's success than Dembele performing at the top of his capability is important to France's success. France have got superstars, arguably best of the world. Yeah, every position from centre back down the spine of their team, they've got somebody in their squad who you can argue is elite level. Do you know what I mean? They got Elise playing in the 10. They got 2 of the best wingers in the game. They've got a number 9 who has treated multiple super clubs like his own personal fiefdoms. Like, it's Dembele getting 6 goals and 2 assists in that France team. Like, if he gets more goals, Mbappe doesn't get the golden boot. And if Mbappe doesn't get the golden boot, it turns into the 1700s again and they get the guillotine back out. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you want from man? Anyway, it's fine.
I need to see these 6 goals, man.
You didn't win. It's cool. I just wanted to. You were out here before calling people out on their decisions, and I just wanted you to know. I think that you have been sniffing something. If you think that,
I did forget. I did forget about Fernandes. To be fair, I did forget about Fernandes.
I hear it though, because I hear it to a certain extent. But I hear the Dembele thing to a certain extent because some of the games, the bad games he had were really bad. But you can't let that overshadow the games where I know he didn't play like 10 out of 10 for the hat trick. I think a couple of them one was a penalty and the other were like left-footed curlers that, like I said, Norway weren't even trying. But he didn't play as badly as some of these other people that we're talking about. Like, he's in the top 5. He will stay in the top 5 goal scorers in a World Cup for this flop performance that you're saying, which is mad. But yeah, I think you just got radicalized off of 1 or 2 performances when he was really bad. But I don't think he was. No,
I am prone to that happening. So I can understand.
Yeah. So I mean,
this brother's got he's got 5 more goals than Lamine Yamal. Yeah. Same amount of big chances missed. 2 more assists. Yeah. And Lamine Yamal has got 2 more minutes played per game. And cool, you can tell me Lamine Yamal is 18, but people were talking about Lamine. People were talking about Lamine Yamal like, oh yeah, he lit up the tournament. Like, I understand the expectation thing. I understand the expectation thing, but to be honest, I feel bad. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I feel bad for Bruno. Bruno is being held down by the worst dictator, that we've seen since Trump came back into office in the US of A. And bro, Bruno had to play with Homelander, and he's been given the biggest flop. Like, this is so deep.
No, it's true.
Portugal were never going to succeed with that man on their team, isn't it? So it's crazy to me that the United fan played a hand in choosing him to be the biggest flop at the World Cup. When what did Benzema say? Wallahi, brother, he's playing against.
Yeah, he was. Rhys, this was your vote, though, bro. Do you wanna add some context to why you voted for CR7 or Homelander?
Just because, I think, like Ray said, I don't think they'll ever win anything when, he's, let's say, in charge, because let's face it, like, he is in charge. I think they didn't even win when they won the Euros. He wasn't actually on the pitch, so it kind of says a lot. And I learned that he scored one knockout goal in the World Cup across when did what was it, 06, his first. So I just think, yeah, all that aside, but I think I went for that because he was more. I felt like he was holding Portugal back. I felt Portugal could do a lot more without him. Also, I think I saw him taken off. Was it Croatia? He was taken off in like the 80-something minute, and he was complaining. And I just think, bro, you're 40 odd years old, man. You're older than some managers in the dugout. So I just think like you need to chill. No, but I think I just think his expectation of playing and being that guy for Portugal is going to hold. That's why I would say he was a flop. I mean, he doesn't look a threat anymore. He doesn't look like the player obviously he was 4 or 5 years ago. And then I just think to see his kind of, let's say, age mate, Messi, score all these goals and get all these assists, it's just putting him to shame. So I think I don't want to say leave the football before the football leaves you, but leave the national team because the national team should be leaving you. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
It left him time ago. It left him time ago. But
that's what I'm saying. The manager, obviously, Martinez, don't get me started on Roberto Martinez, but I just think someone really just needs to have have the balls to just tell him, like, yo, like, if you're going to play, like, you're going to play from the bench because we don't need you all the time. And until then, they're not going to be that team. Even who they just employed? Who's that guy? George Jesus from he was managing. It's never ending. It's not going to end. I'm telling you, bro. What you think he's
it's actually toxic. It's actually a toxic relationship.
Yeah, he's definitely a bigger dictator than Mbappe. I can't lie. But yeah, that's
the best
kind of
thing watching Portugal was when they missed shots and they took shots and missed them and they apologized to Ronaldo. I saw Bruno apologize to Ronaldo for taking a perfectly good chance. And that's why I was like, I feel like he's been done dirty here. He was living under oppression. Would you rather play for the national team with Ronaldo or live in the Soviet Union? Fair question.
I mean, Cristiano Stalin, might be a nickname that we need to give him. But the thing is, though, the thing for me that was confirmation is you've got really good, like, young players, seem like really clean-hearted, like João Neves, just like indirecting him on Instagram stories and stuff. I'm like, if it's got to that point, I'm sorry, this guy's just. You can't have him on the bench, to Rhys's point. Just boot him out of the squad and just try and build around the good young players they have. Because let's not kid, Portugal have a really good squad, and they don't necessarily need Ronaldo up front. All right, let's go on to overachievers then. This one we got a pretty clear winner. We got 4 votes for one team and 1 vote for another. 1 vote for Norway, which came from Rhys, and then we got 4 votes for Cape Verde. I thought this was going to be a 5, but I hear what you're saying, Rhys, because I did think about Norway, but then when I remembered Cape Verde, it was an easy swap. To put Argentina on the verge of maybe going out in the round of 32, to draw with Spain in the group stages, keep a clean sheet, and to top it all off, their goalkeeper's gone from 20,000 followers on Instagram to like 45 million. It can't be anyone else. It can't be anyone else. That's Cabo Verde. Goal of the tournament.
Goal celebration of the tournament. Yeah. Man ran to the babes. He said, wait a minute. He said, World Cup, wait a minute. I'm gonna go find my sweet one. Nah, sorry. Cape Verde. I need to get me a kit. I need a Cape Verde kit and flag. Did they adopt brothers? Because Nigeria are serious, clearly.
I think that's the only problem I've heard. I don't know what the relationship is with the West Africans. I've heard it might be a bit techie for what my research has shown.
For fuck's sake.
I don't don't know what the. I saw. It might be rumors though. It might be.
This is a Lana issue or a skills issue. It's nothing. I've met several Cape Verdeans over the course of this World Cup.
Never met one.
And they were all lovely. Shout out my Cape Verde gang that I met in Marseille. They were all wonderful people. They were sharing like their vibes and other stuff that we don't talk about on the pod. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they were. I feel like they were everybody's sort of team that they wanted to see do well, and it just kept getting better and better and better. And there were so many stories and so many moments from them. But yeah, shout out to Verdi, man, for real.
The thing about them is that like they played good football. It's not like it was just pure luck. Like they actually played so well, and it's just like the Spain game was lucky maybe because Spain should have scored at least one. Like you can't get peppered that much and not score. So, but apart from that, they just looked like they just knew how to play football. Like for their first World Cup, like some small ass nation, yeah, they left that World Cup with so much, pride. And maybe see them in AFCON, mate. They might do a little something in there, but they were a serious team, man. Yeah, the vibes are immaculate. But I see Rhys in Norway though. I see what Rhys was saying about Norway. Norway's a good one.
No, Norway did overachieve. I was doing all of this before, but Norway did fantastic.
It's a scale though, isn't it? Because I think Norway were killing it in the qualification. So I think secretly people thought they could be a bit of a dark horse for the tournament, and they did pretty well. I think the Brazil win was the game that took them over the edge to overachieve. I think, but. I think just the Cape Verde story, man. Their centre back is an Irish Don who got recruited via LinkedIn. Man couldn't even understand the first message in Portuguese that they sent him, and then a year later he reached back out and found out they were trying to recruit him for the team, and then he's playing in a World Cup against Messi and all that. So crazy story. We talk about narratives. Cape Verde owned the narrative of the World Cup, and
the only thing against, not even against Norway, but the reason why they didn't even register when I was voting, is because they've got Haaland, and if you've got the best player in a certain position, any position, but a position that key, like the number 9, like you got the best number 9 in the world, even if you could rock up to the flipping World Cup with chunks and Philly, and I'm gonna expect you to overachieve. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a little bit overachieving anyway.
That's funny because one team we just spoke about had the best centre mid in the Premier League, and they underachieved greatly. You know what I mean? So you see, it goes.
But the team that had Captain Fantastic overachieved. So what does that tell you about your knowledge of Premier League centre mids, brother?
That's how we know this logic is tapped. It doesn't make sense.
I'm saying what the PFA said supposedly, but I don't believe.
Hey, mate, those awards haven't come out yet, right? What you're talking about is the football writers and the other thing. I think the PFA one only comes out in August. But yeah, man, big up Bruno. Best player in the league. All right. Rhys, before we move on to underachievers, I guess the Norway thing was just what we said, right? Like they got to quarterfinals, beat Brazil, did a solid job, and that's why you voted for them, right?
Yeah, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, their first World Cup as well. So I was just going off maybe that logic, but I do understand kind of the whole Cape Verde hype and why they would be everyone's vote. But I was just sort of thinking first World Cup, they got all the fans rowing and all that.
You went for those vibes, I hear it. Yeah. I think they've been in a World Cup
so
before,
I was just thinking on
that. It's been a while. I'm sure they must have been in a World Cup.
And they should have beat England. Just say. The game was winnable. Would have been nice.
Yeah, they got that disallowed goal, which I think we got quite lucky. England got quite lucky.
Oh, and then even the header, hit the bar like if they had a header hit the bar, they had chances to get that game. So, but
yeah. It's I think Norway were in the 98 World Cup, but they haven't been in one since then, so it's almost 30 years. So they haven't been in a World Cup for bloody ages. So but they did bring the vibes, and I hear you, man. They did really well. But yeah, I think Cape Verde just for the scale of the country, and like I honestly didn't know any of the players in that team before. So for them to push Argentina to the brink and have great results against all these bigger nations, in air quotes, I think that's probably why we all got convinced. Man's on the investigation hype today. All right, underachievers. We had 2 teams that were voted, but the winning team got 3 votes. The winning team got 3 votes, and the other team got 2 votes. So it was between Brazil with 2 votes. I believe Rhys and Rhys went for Brazil. And then the winning team was Germany with me, Io, and Johns all voting for them. Rhys, what was the thinking behind Brazil? Was it just that Norway loss, or was it the whole tournament in general?
It was the whole tournament in general. It was the vibes being low. It was the fact that they brought in kind of similar to, I think they're going through a similar thing to what we were going through in England, in the sense that it's like, we brought you in to like not flop in this specific way. And we kind of flopped in this specific way. Like, well, go on, bro. But yeah, like for me, I just feel like Brazil were a bit uninspired. I think they were still working it out. I think the Neymar thing ultimately hurt them. And do you know what? Watching Neymar trying to talk crud, was it in the Norway game when he scored the consolation penalty at the end? Watching him trying to talk crud, I was like, yeah, they should have had you in the stands next to Caitlin Clark and Victor Wembanyama and stuff. Like, you shouldn't have been here doing this. This is outrageous. Like, you're not deep in what's going on right now. Like, you're playing for Brazil and getting knocked out of the World Cup, and you think now's the time to talk crud to the keeper who's about to go through to the next round. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just summed it up for me. So maybe in my mind, I was just like, yeah, this is a very disappointing thing. And maybe they're stuck in my mind as that. But I think Germany's a fair shout as well.
Yeah. I mean, don't get it wrong. I was obviously got Brazil in the sweepstake, and I knew I was finished, but I was holding out hope that Heritage could come through. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried in the group stages, but the way they slapped Scotland, I started to think, okay, maybe they're going to turn a corner and something could happen. But yeah, that Norway game was a catastrophe. Why Vini's not taking a first penalty, God knows. Why Neymar's even on the pitch, God knows. Like, I mean, I was just baffled. When he was trying to set it on Odegaard at the end, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man. This is how far they've fallen. It was bad. But I hear you. But I think Germany, to lose to Paraguay, Paraguay are shite. Like, they're not good. We saw that in the next game when they were trying to just kick lumps out of France the whole time. Not a good team. And even the way the penalty shootout went, where they just like diabolical, and then they literally had kind of a bit like the Arsenal in the Champions League final. Why is the centre-back taking the last penalty, Jonathan Tah? And then you find out all the other players in this, bottled it and basically didn't want to take penalties, and you had midfielders and attackers on the pitch still to take them. I just think Germany, you had Jurgen Klopp in the background after having a little bit of a glow up, wearing like, Kevin De Bruyne style, looking all fashionista, and taking digs at Nagelsmann. It was all just a shit show for me. So I think Germany to lose round of 32 or 16 or whatever it was to Paraguay was so bad. Io, were you thinking the same thing? Is that the reason why you voted Germany as well?
Literally, I think that Paraguay loss was actually just ridiculous. Obviously, I think they were unlucky because they got the winner with that header that got kind of disallowed. But yeah, as you can, to see your players actively avoid, was it Goretzka, who was like, that hurt me because he was my FM baller. We done some great things on FM together, and to hear that he just completely like chickened out taking a penalty as like a veteran player just shows cowardness. I don't think Nagelsmann showed any sort of like tactical like understanding of his team. He just seemed to be outmatched. The team didn't seem to want to even play for him. You see, like, I feel like in every other game when there was like a hydration break, you see the team come out and they'll change something and there'll be like a tactical change. The team will have some sort of kick on, but with Germany, it just seemed like they came out and did the exact same thing again. Only if the only time they like something changed was against they beat like 7-1 Curacao. But it's because they were just so poor. Like when every other game it was just more of the same crap, and it just looked so disjointed. And yeah, it just didn't seem like the team even cared for Nagelsmann. I don't think Nagelsmann cared himself. And yeah, I don't think Germany had high expectations to win the whole thing, but to go out the way they went out, to lose on penalties. And like Germans, their thing was they never lose on penalties. But that was German like heritage. Germans don't lose on penalties. And then for you to go out to Paraguay the way you did, like with a whimper, it's just whimper and cowardness as well. So it's just kind of just destroyed a lot of German like stereotypes in one game. It's just disappointing from their part. And but at least Kai got something. He left with something. I guess he left with something. But there's the little wins in there. It's the little wins for us.
I mean, he missed the penalty in the shootout as well, so I don't know why. Rhys, why did you vote for Brazil? Was it also like Razor? They just didn't show up, or could you not remember Germany? What was the logic?
No, yeah, I could have gone for Germany, but I just think Brazil kind of were just disappointed based off the Brazil kind of you expect maybe to be at these tournaments. I think Ancelotti, he came in quite late in terms of I don't know who was in charge before, but I know because he had that season. So I think his kind of selections kind of let him down as well. And I just think with the whole Neymar thing, picking Neymar when he wasn't fit, I just think Brazil were the most disappointing outfit. I mean, Germany are kind of known for not getting through knockout rounds recently and being a disappointment. They were a disappointment in the last World Cup. So, I'd probably say Brazil kind of would have let me down more, in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Carlo Ancelotti as well, the coach factor, I guess. I know Nagelsmann's rated as well, but Ancelotti's like one of the GOAT managers for a lot of people, so I guess that factors in as well. Makes sense. All right, we've wrapped that up. That took ages, but let's go on to the transfer window. I mean, we haven't podded for like a month, so I knew this was going to be a long one. Transfer window's gone mad. So as you can tell by the title, a little bit of fishing going on. But we'll start with Arsenal. 2 signings, got Zolis in the door, Ilham Meslier as well from Leeds, and then you've obviously made the Hincapié signing permanent. Out the door, Trossard's gone to Besiktas, Kyrgios made his move to Porto permanent, and you've sold the backup keeper Hein. But the big rumours, I don't know if they've been quashed already, but I think there's kind of, I don't know if you man have been watching the transfer gurus. I don't know who to believe at the moment. They're all just like, it's like a telenovela. They're all like cussing each other out on Twitter and stuff like that. So the stories were anyway by Ornstein, who's probably one of the more reliable ones, that Arsenal are exploring the Vinicius Jnr transfer. Obviously, he's got 1 year left on his deal, and there's a lot of speculation about that. But Reza, what do you make of that? Number one, do you think it's even possible? Number two, would you like him? And there is no number three. So what do you make of it?
Nonchalant, as a champion of England should be, Why wouldn't he want to join us? And, we'll see what happens, It's obviously very exciting. I think it's the kind of signing that is beyond what I think even the most optimistic or unrealistic Arsenal fan could have sort of been looking for at the start of the window. Hasn't been quashed yet, for the record. In fact, don't know how reliable it is, but apparently Mourinho was saying that he doesn't consider Vini essential for his new Madrid. So that's kind of like the latest thing that I read. But as I said, there's a lot of talking going on. I'm kind of waiting for an Ornstein update before I start getting excited or anything. I think, yeah, Solis looks good, but he doesn't look like the finished article. I think I've big love for Nelly, but I don't think he commands the level of gravitas on the left wing that Saka has on the right wing, which is why it's easy for defenses to double us and kind of, do you know what I mean, on that side. So, yeah, I think we do need a big signing who is capable of playing down that left-hand side and kind of more balancing our attack would be my opinion. And I think the feeling of a lot of other Arsenal fans. Never in a million years could I have told you or guessed or said that I thought it would be Vini Jr. But why not? We're the fucking Arsenal. We're absolutely massive. So, yeah, I've seen too many, especially with Real Madrid, I've seen us linked to or admiring or inquiring about too many Real Madrid players that just never make it over for me to be super excited. But it's interesting, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. It's something that I'm keeping my eye on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What do you make of it as the other Arsenal fan here? Do you think it's realistic, or do you think this is a Real Madrid classic new contract loading situation?
I think from what I've seen, like, I suppose like the wage demands, what he's asking for money wise, just seems I just can't see us paying him. I think I've seen like 35 or 40 million a year floated about, and I just struggle to see Arsenal ever paying such money. And yeah, I think they're trying to. I think it's exciting, but I think it might be a ploy to get some more money out of Madrid. I think the only thing that could be likely is that he does leave, but that's more maybe because of relationship with Mourinho. Obviously, I think when they hired him, obviously the whole what he said when he was at Benfica, the whole I don't know how the relationship is type of thing. But no, I'm not really trying to believe it because I just don't want to get my hopes up, and it just like obviously it'd be nice. I think it'd be amazing. Like, obviously, he might be a bit of a diva, which people are saying that he's a diva, but I don't think he does that. I still think he's just he's a superstar, and like superstars come with they come with some stuff. They come with drama, so it's just part of it. But yeah, I refuse to get myself excited at the prospect of it because I just don't want to be disappointed. But yeah, and the rest of it. But we do need to make some signings because I would like us to see us defend the title with some pride, but with the injuries and some of our boys looking like they're running on, their last legs, and I don't think they'll be here to start the season. It'll be good to kind of get some players in. I'm not. Yeah, when you said two signings, my head tripped for a second, and you said Nelly, and I nearly cried inside because I completely forgot we signed him. So I think that's the sad reality of what we've got getting on. I completely only remember the Solis signing, and I was like, who the hell's the second player? He said Nelly, and I was like, God damn it. So we do need to do some. We need some signings. I think, I don't want to be, as I said before. I think the last one I said September is when you will see the real eye will come out because of transfers. So far, it's not getting the right way. But I'll give Arteta some grace, and maybe Berta needs to get himself kicked into gear, and hopefully something changes in the next few weeks because, we need to defend that title, man. With some pride.
Yeah. To a maybe slightly more realistic one, there's obviously a lot of chat around Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle, like £70 million bid gone in apparently. I think the Newcastle journos, I've been following their tweets so hard, bro. They're so funny. For like club-based journos, they crack me up, man. Pretty much every transfer saga, they say it's not going to happen. There's no way. The player might want to leave, but no one's spoken to them. And then boom, every single time their player leaves to go to a bigger club. So it's been pretty funny. But yeah, what do you think, lads? Rhys, do you think Guimaraes will end up going to Arsenal, or do you think he'll go somewhere else, or do you think he'll stay at Newcastle at the end?
Do you know what? It kind of depends because Arsenal are kind of taking a piss with the fee, aren't they? They're kind of like not. They've got Newcastle. No, because Newcastle have got an asking price, and you're not meeting it. You're haggling. That's how you lost out on Rodgers. But that's another story for another day. He won't go anywhere else. He won't go anywhere else. He'll go, like, if he doesn't go to Arsenal, he'll stay at Newcastle. But I just think if Arsenal play around with the fee, I just think with the way Newcastle kind of lose players, I don't know if they'll kind of sit tight and just let him like stay, because he's got a while on his contract, hasn't he? So all right, maybe I was a bit wrong about the Rogers fee. We'll get into that in a bit, but yeah, I do think you are sort of playing about with this fee with Guimaraes, because if you look at what Tonali went for, I do think he's better than Tonali. And
that was a crazy fee for Tonali.
It was crazy.
Spurs got fleeced.
Why can't Newcastle demand the same fee? Why can't Newcastle demand the same type of fee for a better player that they've got? So I honestly don't see Guimaraes going anywhere else if it's not Arsenal. I just think Arsenal are counting their pennies, which is strange because they're obviously in the driving seat in the Prem. And I think the way I look at it is every other team now is in transition except Arsenal. So it would make sense for Arsenal to go out, slap the peas down for whoever they want, and build that team so they can progress. But it just seems like they're a bit slow in the market right now, in my opinion.
No, you're right, but we spent too much. I think we spent a lot last season. I think that's definitely playing on their heads.
But do you think if you sort of, because if you think about it, Liverpool have been slapping down £100 million for a few players like each season. Do you think if you went out and sort of just spent the money to put the team on the next level, that you would go clear?
Oh, I'd love it.
But how did that work out for Liverpool?
Thank you, Antony.
There you go.
What are we talking about here, bro? Man are trying to feel better about their team. Man are trying to feel better about their team doing crazy pricing for FFP shenanigans in that. You and your money laundering club, bro, selling the women's team.
No, but I'm not saying that. But you've got a player you want. You've got a player you want. And
Morgan Rogers is a good player. No, because the market
no. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
That's what the market is on, though.
What my point is, you've got a player you want, yeah? You've got a player you want to bring in to make the team better, yeah? I'm not saying that you need to pay some overly inflated fee, but I'm saying if you keep messing around with the fee, you're not going to get the player you want to, like, what? See, what are you going to have? Declan Rice play another 40-odd games, 50 games?
No, you're valid.
I hear what you're saying, but this isn't Arsene Wenger offering 40 plus 1 million, isn't it? Like, this is Guimaraes is of a certain age. He's playing at a club. I haven't really heard of any other interest from top clubs for him. He wants the move. Now, we've seen what happens with players like Isaac when they want the move. We've seen what happens with other players when they want the move. They are going to, like, the situation will deteriorate. But the difference is, this isn't just like, goal scorer that gets lots of goals for the club. This is someone who's up there involved in the club captaincy, like doing stuff like that. Like, he's meant to be like at the heart of it. And realistically, away from some of the transfers that have been made this summer when everyone seems to be smoking beat, like, Bruno Guimaraes for 80 mil, 75 mil. That's not a bad deal, bro. If we come back to earth, this Anderson transfer is making everyone move mad, bro. There's no, like, Anderson, good player, not worth the money that he's gone to City for. Tonali, decent player, not worth the money that Spurs have paid for him. Rogers, good player. I like him. You lot are smoking in the bubbly stuff. Like, he's not worth the money that you're paying for it. So just because everyone is getting twanged doesn't mean we have to become Twang FC too. Like, if the man them started telling you, taking girls to Hakkasan on the first date is normal, are you gonna start changing your pattern, bro? No, like, people are moving crazy. Guimaraes, no,
but you don't want to leave yourself short at the same time.
Guimaraes is not Vini, bro. If we're talking about Vini and we're penny pinching about a couple mil, then I hear it, innit? Yeah. But we're talking about Guimaraes. Can we get... I don't want Declan Rice to pay 60 games again next season. I agree with you. But can we get a player of kind of his quality and kind of with his attributes for kind of around the same amount of money? Probably. that's what I think people are like when people are saying that we're being tight or cheap. Like, where do we get the Barcola level guy or the Vini level guy if we spend 100 mil on Bruno Guimaraes? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think it's also a timing thing, though. It's also a timing thing, though. Think about it, though, Rhys. If Arsenal go in and just slap the bread down for Guimaraes, then the next player they get, they're going to have to pay over the odds for as well. And then the market just keeps spiraling. So if they keep haggling it out, like Liverpool did with Isak, let's not forget that rolled right until the end, and they ended up paying the amount that they wanted and not the amount that Newcastle wanted. They found a compromise. That's probably what's happening here, because they're definitely, like, the fact they're showing interest in Vini Jr. means they're willing to drop bread down for a left winger as well. So we're talking about two potentially big fees. They may, like the Rogers one, if they agree to the 116 or 17 or whatever you lot paid for him, then the Guimaraes deal probably gets even more expensive. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying. If they really, really want the player, they'll have to do something different than keep putting, like, not lowball offers in, but offers that Newcastle are going to reject. Otherwise, they're not going to get him. And I don't know. I disagree with you. I think he could go to another team. I don't think it's Arsenal or no one. I think if someone else goes for him,
I just think this is a great opportunity, though, for Arsenal in general to kind of build, as much as I hate to say it, a dynasty based on the amount of transition that other clubs are in. So I just think, obviously, I get it. You don't want to spend inflated transfer fees, but the market's been spiraling for years anyway. But yeah, I hear it. But I think this is the best chance for Arsenal to kind of grab that, I don't know, the second one in a row. And do you know what I mean? So I just think if it's not now, it might take, when the other teams transition, they might be better next year. So, but yeah, no, I hear it. They can't, obviously, the market can't dictate sort of the team you want to build as much as you might want to have that team in place. But yeah, it's definitely prime for Arsenal to do something sort of long lasting in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've definitely got the most stability of all the teams that we've been talking about right now, that have been in the top six or of the big six teams. Talking about a team in transition, let's move on to your team then, Rhys. Chelsea, moving crazy as usual, but this time a little bit of a blend. Man's gone off camera now. A little blend of big money signings and, people that are heading to the care home. So yeah, you've got Omega, who is signed from Strasbourg, but it looks like you might sell him immediately. You've got Quenda that's come in from Sporting. You bought the young right back, left back from Atalanta, Palestra. You've obviously got Rogers that we just talked about for 117. And then you've basically, here we go, got Lacroix, but it hasn't been formally announced yet. This will be music to your ears, but you've managed to get rid of Garnacho to Aston Villa on loan with a buy obligation. Sold Andre Santos to us, sold Cucurella to Real Madrid, and sold Evil Saka to Everton. And now you've been linked with fucking Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck. So please, Rhys, explain what the hell is your club up to?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of those two, I hear it. I'm not mad. I think we sat on here on quite a few occasions and heard me crash out about our lack of discipline. The fact we leak goals in late on in games, we can't hold the lead. And yeah, just the amount of red cards in general and petulant yellow cards, complaining. There's just sort of no... I remember, I think I saw Fofana get a red card against Burnley, just smiling when he's walking off. I think the mentality of the team is not there. So I kind of hear it in terms of, particularly Jordan Henderson. Apparently he was everyone's friend in the England camp. So I hear it in that kind of sense. Like, yeah, you can see he's quite a vocal guy. And you can't expect kind of the coaches to be that voice in the dressing room. You need someone, a representation of the players. And I just feel like he'll be that guy. Welbs, I mean, he's got a very good record coming off the bench. He's a better finisher than Delap. I can't speak for Omega because I don't know too much about him. He is a better finisher than Jackson, I will say that as well. And yeah, if you just present him a chance in the box, I have every faith he'll score. I mean, look, these two aren't coming to Chelsea to start games. They're coming here to kind of get a bit of order in that dressing room, which is something we've been, how long have we said this? Like, I've sat here with numerous pods complained about how we have such a young squad with a shit mentality who, like, we can't win games, we get embarrassed. Like, how many times have we turned up, been embarrassed by Arsenal, embarrassed by Man United, embarrassed by City, Liverpool? So, yeah, I mean, we do need that experience. Like I said, they're not coming to play week in, week out for Chelsea. They're coming to sort of hold down the dressing room. I feel like Welbeck will be a good player to bring off the bench, especially if we're chasing a game. If we're chasing a game, I have every faith if we create a chance, he will score. So yeah, I'm not kind of mad. And if anything, is kind of a slight admission to the problem that with this policy that they had in terms of young players. I think they kind of admitted that there might have been a bit of fault there. I mean, I'm not giving them props for a problem they created and something that they're fixing. So, yeah, still Bluco out. Fuck them. But at the same time, at least they've sort of acknowledged that we've got a problem here and we need to fix it. So, yeah, we'll see. There's still a lot of business that needs to be done, particularly outgoings. I think Henderson, I don't think should be the only midfielder we sign. But we'll kind of see. I know Lavia can't stay fit, so it's going to be difficult. I mean, Rogers, the thing is with Rogers, obviously I don't agree with the fee. I do think he lacks a bit of consistency, maybe, particularly last season. However, he's better than the left wing options we got. Let's be honest. Like, Garnacho was there, Gittins was there, and who looked like he struggled for confidence. So I think, yeah, I think he will improve. He's Palmer's mate, so yeah, hopefully he brings the best out of Palmer, and we'll see kind of how. But there's still a few things that need sort of updating in the squad. Yeah, we need to move on a few players. Need to decide what we're going to do with Enzo. And yeah, we'll see. I think in terms of the striker situation, I think Omega will stay, and Delap, Guiu, and Jackson will leave. I mean, we could talk about the Rogers fee, but that's definitely getting offsetted by the sales of Garnacho and Jackson if they happen. So yeah, I think there's a bit of FFP duping will be going on there. But yeah, in all, it's been an all right window. I mean, we still, yeah, there's still more to do, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, the Rogers deal with the Garnacho going back the other way and Jackson is definitely a special Chelsea Aston Villa set of transfers. Io, what do you make of these transfers then, especially the Henderson and Welbeck? I know you're a big fan of Jordan Henderson. So do you agree that in the group chat I was saying, like, I get the leadership stuff that Rhys was chatting about, but do you agree with me that they didn't have to go and get Henderson and Welbeck to do that? They could have got a player in their late 20s to do the same thing.
Yeah, no, I think I get it. I don't get signing Henderson and Welbeck. I think if you're a team trying to strive for the top, I guess. But I think maybe judging their situation because of how young they actually are, I think I saw on Sky Sports, like, the last player they signed that played, the last player they spent money on that was over 30 and played actual minutes was like a Aubameyang in 2022. And like the fact that's their last player over 30, I think that says a lot about their team. And as Rhys said, yeah, a lot of petulance, a lot of stupidity, a lot of just like kiddish behaviors. I've never been a Henderson fan, but maybe he's just the world's greatest cheerleader, and you might just need someone like that in your team, and maybe they're just hoping that he brings some sort of leadership. because I guess he did play a bit for Brentford last year. I don't rate him, but I think he did better than people expected at Brentford potentially maybe. So he might just be a calming head, and obviously when you've got hot heads that kind of like Enzo, you haven't really got that. I don't really. They haven't got any leaders, so I guess that's one big problem. But yeah, I think they definitely know the way that they do spend the money. The players they could most likely attract to Chelsea. There could have been players like late 20s, early 30s that they could have signed instead of signing a 36-year-old Henderson. Welbs, annoyingly, I'm annoyed he's gone there because I actually like Welbs. Like I don't think he's gonna be starting, but obviously I think it is just confusing. Like to go from being basically, pretty much not like a grooming, but something like really extensive, like something bad. But yeah, you get my point. From getting really young players with no idea and signing them to 10-year contracts to now signing people at the other end of the scale, who are like it is a very confusing kind of change in transfer policy. Maybe that's what Xabi Alonso said. They wanted to sign Xhaka as well, I guess. Like they were talks with Xhaka, so. Maybe Xabi just came in and said, "I can't. You can still sign your kids and your young players, but I need some experience. I need some leadership." And maybe this is their, get out of jail card.
It was definitely instigated by Uncle Xabi. It was definitely
has to be. I think he's the only one that said. I guess he's the only one that had the say or was willing or like was strong enough to say to them that I can't do this with your sign of young players and nothing else. So you need to give me some experience. And then so this is where we are now. Jordan Henderson, I'm about to put on a blue. Oh God, disgusting. What a horrible thought, man.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to go from 117 million Rogers and 50 odd million Lacroix and 40 odd million Palestra to suddenly signing Henderson and Welbeck. But maybe it is like Rhys said, something that Xabi asked for now that he's assessed the squad a bit and he wants to get a bit more experience. But yeah, just it doesn't give off a lot of stability and the idea of like competent football dealings the way that Chelsea been going about it. But yeah, who am I to pass any judgment? I've had absolutely incompetent football directors as well, so it makes sense. All right, let's move on to Liverpool. Kem's not here, but it's fine anyway because they've not done much. They've signed Victor Munoz from Osasuna, hijacked another Newcastle deal with that one. Jeremy Jackett from Rennes came in from for like 60 odd million. So we will be there. We'll watch him with that same vim that everyone's been giving me about Euro. So we'll find out about that one. And they sold Robertson to Tottenham. Konate left on a free to Real Madrid, standard. And Mo Salah is still knocking about somewhere without a club. They're linked with Barcola. So Rhys, I don't know if you've seen this. Do you think it'll be a good signing? Because I know you guys were kind of mooted to be interested in him earlier in the window as well. But what would you make of that signing for Liverpool if they got him?
I think Barcola is a good player. I think I rated him a little bit, but I rated him more after watching him more towards the end of this season, both mainly for France. I think he's been like he's decent. I think he would fit in. I don't really know how that kind of like front unit at Liverpool now kind of like works generally. I think that's something that they're going to have to like sort of like figure out pretty quickly. And then is this like, what does this mean for Ekitike in the long run? Because is he going to be playing second fiddle striker for a long time? One of the ways that you would have said that you probably would have circumvented that is him coming off one of the wings, but it seems like they're going and getting more wingers. So I think there's a couple questions around it, but I don't think anyone in their right mind could sort of deny Barcola being a good signing, a great signing for a club right now, especially with how much certain Liverpool fans have moaned about some of their wingers.
Yeah, I hear it. I think the fee looks a bit crazy, though. I've seen stuff about like 130 million, 120 million, but I guess we're back to the point we made earlier when we were talking about Guimaraes and the market being absolutely nuts. The thing I do find a bit weird about this, though, is they've got a bag of left wingers anyway. Like, well, why are they not going for a right winger? Like, I know they've been linked with Ryan from Bournemouth, who honestly I'll be livid if they got him because he's cold. The same way you guys love Krupi, and I understand it. I love Ryan, man. He's a really good player, and he actually plays on the right wing. Cut in with the left foot, it would make a lot more sense than getting Barcola when they've already got Ekitike, like you mentioned. I know he's injured, but he's going to be fighting from for a left wing spot or a striker spot. They've got Gakpo, they've got the young boy Rio, they've got Chiesa. All these guys I'm naming are left wingers in my mind. So, yeah, baffling. I like for once, I saw something that Carragher wrote on Twitter, and I thought I actually agreed with him, where he was just like, I don't understand why we're signing, or Liverpool signing, all these left wingers. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the idea is to put Barcola on the right, but I mean, primarily he plays from the left for France and for PSG when he does play. So I love it, man. It just looks like Liverpool don't know what they're doing. So it's been a fun window to watch as a hater, but as a Liverpool fan, they've got to be confused because they're not really linked with many other players either. Like, they surely need a midfielder, probably need another centre back after Konate left, unless they want to go into the season with the Twerker and Joe Gomez. I think that's crazy. So yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with Liverpool, but let's crack on. Last club, Man United, my team. We've signed a youngster from Tottenham called Tynan Thompson. Never heard of him, but we've paid like 8 million for him, and people talking about him being a potentially for the first team squad. We got Yuri Tielemans from Aston Villa. We got Andre Santos, like I mentioned earlier, from Chelsea, and we got another goalkeeper from Leeds, like Arsenal have. We got Carl Darlow. Not quite as upset as Io is about Meslier, but not super happy with him either. We sold Højlund. Casemiro left on a free to Miami. Malacia's gone on a free, and praise the Lord, Jadon Sancho has finally left Man United, and I can breathe. We're linked with Kone. For some reason, we're still linked with Tchouaméni, which I don't understand because he's just signed a new contract, but it's Real Madrid, so I don't know what's going on there. Still chat about Baleba as well. I don't know what's going on. I'm really happy about Tielemans, by the way, lads. I think that was a good signing. I think he's the only player from that Belgium team that actually came out with any credit. I thought he played really well in a bag of their games, and a lot of the rest of that team was pretty dead, especially in that Senegal game. I don't know if you man watched it. Like, the defense was diabolical, and at some point it was just Tielemans like actually playing pretty decent, and the Senegal team bottling it, and suddenly Belgium had won the game. So, I'm really happy with that one. Santos, I've got to ask you, Rhys. I think I asked you in a group chat. No idea about him. I saw the reaction online, and a lot of Chelsea fans were crashing out because they rated him, apparently. But I don't remember really seeing too much of him. So I can't say that I've watched the friendlies that we've played. So I don't know what's been going on with him. But 50 million is a pretty penny for him. I don't know what's going on with us, to be honest. It looks like we obviously lost out to Spurs, as diabolical as that sounds, on Mateus Fernandes for 85 million. Good player, but again, I think it falls in that bracket of not being worth the money. That's a crazy amount for a relegated player from West Ham. I mean, I don't know if you man saw it. They sold Somerville to Saudi for 80 million. What the fuck is going on, man? I don't know what we're doing signing-wise. I think we'll probably get another midfielder in, but I can't tell you who it will be. Most likely Nash is out there praying as well that it'll be Baleba, so his shout from last season can come true. I still wouldn't mind him, but I don't know if we're going for him. What do you say? What did we say? I didn't hear you, bro.
I said finally signing of the season.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if we will, though, because I've read stuff that Brighton still want a crazy fee for him. So I don't know, man. I think they'll only sign him if they can get him like 50, 60 million or something like that. And even then, I think that's a bit of a overpay considering the season he had last year. But I don't know, man. Lads, I think we're also trying to do this Fergie thing where he was like, there's no value in the market and we're not trying to pay the big bucks like we have in previous years. which I think is risky business because I do think our squad needs a decent amount of work for us to just stay in the Champions League next season. So God knows what will happen. We're obviously not going to sell Ugarte now that he's done his ACL, which I feel bad for him to do that. It's rough. Man started laughing at an ACL. Relax.
No, because you said because you want to sell him. Clearly, you don't really. You're just gutted that he got his ACL.
Nah, bro. Bro, I am sympathetic. No, bro. Even
don't act like you care about Ugarte's health.
No, bro.
I think you thought that sounded more sympathetic than it sounded.
No, bro. Like obviously I want to get rid of him. A man's an eyesore, but no one wants it to go down the ACL route. That's mad harsh, and I feel bad for him for that because, yeah, he could be out there playing for another team right now and actually doing something other than sitting on our bench. But now he's just got an ACL to recover from, so that's harsh, bro. Yeah, like Rashford doesn't look like he's gonna go. Because Barcelona have done the mad thing on us and got Gordon for 80 million, and they even got Adeyemi from Dortmund as well. So it's like clearly they don't want Rashford, so that's not happening. So yeah, man, I don't really know what movements we can make in the squad apart from selling Xerxes. I think is probably a shout. Selling, who else could we sell? I don't even know. Maybe I wish Dalot, but it's most likely going to be like Mazraoui or something else. So I don't know what movements we can do, but I think we're definitely going to be bargain basement transfer deals. I don't think you'll see us do a mad one because that Tchouaméni stuff is gas. I don't know why we're still linked with him. He's literally signed a new contract and people are like, because they signed Rodri, they're going to sell him to us. There's no chance. So I don't believe it, man. So yeah, I don't know what you man think other than calling out my fake sympathy for Ugarte, but our transfer deals are not spectacular at the moment.
No, Tielemans is a good signing. That's a
I like him.
That'll give me credit for
the price, money.
Yeah, it's a bargain.
Yeah,
big bargain for Tielemans.
It's incredible business considering how the market's moving.
Yeah, but it's a release clause, isn't it? I think. Do you remember that season that Liverpool signed McAllister when he was good, and they got him for like 35 million because he had a secret fucking release clause in there? We've obviously somehow found out about this Tielemans one, and when we've failed on the Fernandes deal, and Elliot Anderson price has gone to that crazy amount, we've obviously just gone. It makes sense to do it, but I'm kind of happy we ended up with him because I think he's still got a good few years left in there. And he's one of Villa's best players in the last couple of seasons. So happy with him. And I think he's a good age profile to play with Kobe and if we get some other younger midfielders, because he's not quite Casemiro age. He's still like in his relative prime, but he's not going to be around for like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So the youngsters should get a spot in the team at some point. So it's pretty reasonable, logical signing, which I'm not too used to for United, but I do think we need one more midfielder at least. And depending on what happens with Rashford, we may need a left winger as well or a left back. So there's still some work to do. And yeah, you know that Lisandro Martinez one, I forgot about that. I was crashing out about that in the group chat. I've had enough. This guy's always injured, man. So I've been defending him bare when you lot are out here saying about Carragher's quotes about him. But yeah, he can do one now. We've got too many sick notes at centre-back. That's the other problem. So I would like us to get it's not going to happen because we've got about 7 centre-backs, but I would like us to just sell Lisandro, just sell De Ligt, and just get like proper centre-backs of like a decent age to come in and play in the first team or support some of the youngsters to develop. But these injury-prone centre-backs are not good, man. I can't take it anymore.
Just keep believing on heaven. The best head.
I do, bro. I do, man. I do. I trust in him. He's a good player. I'm not going to lie. He's going to have to play loads because what's his name? Martinez is always injured. So, yeah, he'll get a chance to either fail or succeed. But I'm happy with him so far. But yeah, that's United. All right. So that's the pod done. We've gone almost 2.5 hours. So that's been a crazy one. The World Cup Prediction League, I'll wrap that up quickly before we leave. Yeah. It was rough. Kem won. He finished first with 39 points and 7 correct scores. I came second with 34 points and 4 correct scores. Jonce came third with 30 points and 4 correct scores. Razor came fourth with 26 points and 3 correct scores. Rhys came fifth with 21 and 3 correct scores. And Io came last with 16 points and 2 correct scores. A lot of missed deadlines. Deadlines. Diabolical work.
Travesty is what it was. I don't remember my correct scores.
Bring back the predictions, man.
Yeah. Premier League Prediction League will be back soon. Yeah. All right, we'll wrap up the pod here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Before we leave, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop us a like, leave a comment, and share the video. And if you're listening on the podcasting platforms, please follow and leave us a 5-star review. And we'll be back very soon with another episode. But thanks for tuning in. Take care, guys.
I need to